Hi, and welcome to the MathWorks. Thank you for joining me. Um, I'll spend the next few minutes going through a little bit of background on the MathWorks, my experience at the MathWorks, and more specifically, the role that I recruit for, the revenue accounting and controls position, some details about the role and the opportunities that it leads itself to down the road. First off, MathWorks is an engineering software company. We are privately held. The main corporate headquarters is located in Natick, Massachusetts. However, we have offices around the world, throughout Europe and Asia Pacific. We have over 5,500 employees. The company is privately held, very profitable, and been around for over 35 years. So real good combination for a company to work for. Personally, I've been at the MathWorks for over 25 years. There's a lot of things that have kept me there for so long. First of all, the company is a world leader in the engineering software. You name the industry, our software products are used there. The two biggest industries that we sell into are the automotive and aerospace. So if you think of, basically any major automotive company that's out there, our software is baked into the design as well as the functionality. As far as working at the MathWorks, it's an environment where we work hard, play hard. The company provides us with the proper tools, has a good set of core values to base the culture off of. It's a company that gives back to the community in many ways. There's lots of opportunities to get involved and participate with our social mission that gives back to the communities. As I think I mentioned, the company's been around for over 35 years, and each member of the company is considered a stakeholder. In fact, one of the best financial benefits that the MathWorks offers is there's a profit sharing program where a percentage of the profits on a quarterly basis is paid out to the employees. And there's some guidelines behind that, but not to get into too much of the details right now. But overall, first-class benefits, health and dental benefits are fantastic. 401k program has the opportunity to match up to dollar for 6%. There's a couple nuances throughout that program, but again, a fantastic benefit. And being at the company for 25 years, I can look back at my statements and again, just basically wowed by what the match has done for me personally over the years. As far as my role, well, first off, I came out of public accounting, worked a couple of years at Deloitte, got my CPA and came to the MathWorks as a general accountant. I've worked in a bunch of different positions throughout the years in accounting, finance, and now also the operations role. Starting off closing the books, putting controls in place, working on budgeting, running expense meetings, really nuts and bolts of the accounting functions. Next step in my career, we started opening up offices throughout Europe back in the early 2000s, and I took a role kind of as an accountant / consultant, working with our offices and working with the various teams to get the controls laid out in place for them, to get them onto our ERP system, and really kind of partner with them to get them up and off the ground and get moving. After that, I had a lot of experience on the expense side of the financials. I wanted to get more on the revenue side, so I took a role as an analyst here in North America, working with our North America sales group on daily, quarterly, annual reporting and budgeting, as well as sales compensation plans. Did a couple of years there, and then I moved into a management role here in the revenue accounting and controls group. This is a blended role. It gives a person the opportunity to learn essentially how a software company operates, working from the quote through cash cycle with some reporting and analysis on there. It's an entry-level position that allows an individual to get in and develop what I consider to be transferable skills that you'll take with you that are kind of the foundation for the next role in your career. And oftentimes, a good number of folks who come through our group end up taking on additional roles or positions throughout the organization. Some have gone into more finance and analytical positions. Some have gone into more traditional accounting positions. But we have folks in our accounting group, our FP&A group, business model, There's analysts in marketing operations, sales operations, treasury, and tax. So we really play as a farm system for the rest of the organization, which is part of the thing that I love about this role and this opportunity. You get in, get some good training, learn the company culture, the products, the systems, and you're able to carry that through with you to the next step in your career, and you can grow and develop throughout what I would consider a world-class organization. As far as the revenue accounting and controls position goes, as I mentioned, it's a blend of operations, accounting, and finance. The operations piece is the front end of that quote to cash cycle, working closely with the sales organization, trying to get our products, our software out into the hands of our customers. So we're working with the documentation, making sure everything's in compliance with our requirements. So looking at purchase orders, contracts, tax documents, export compliance statements to make sure everything fits together, meets our requirements, and we can take those quotes, convert them into orders, and get the products delivered out to the customer. Once the transactions go out, that kicks off part of the accounting cycle. So obviously, as you're recording transactions, the accounting takes place behind the scenes. So we need folks to understand kind of the workflow throughout the systems. But from an accounting perspective, one piece that's tied closely with the operations piece is the collections, making sure we get paid on our transactions. We have a team of about 15 individuals. So each person has what I call a small and manageable accounts receivable portfolio, working closely with our customers to make sure we get paid on time. Our portfolio is extremely clean. Our customers buy our products because they need them and they want them in their development process. So when they get their invoices, there's no surprise on the collection side. They know what they signed up for. They issued the purchase order. Most of the collections are done through emails and through web portals. Occasionally, we do have to contact through a phone call, but it's not a cold call. There's no surprises. This isn't difficult collections for any stretch of the imagination. I look at our portfolio as more of maintaining and managing our accounts as opposed to working our accounts. So it's not a collections, a traditional collections position. I would say most people spend 4 to 5 hours a week working with their portfolios and their customers. Some a little bit more, some a little bit less, depending on the complexity of those particular accounts. So you're looking at about 10% of your time on the collection side, and that matches neatly with the operations piece, because as we work with our customers and find out reasons for delays in payments, that's giving us insight as to what we need to do differently from the operations side or the order side, getting the products out, making sure we're doing that properly, and we can make adjustments on the fly. From an accounting perspective, we also get involved in various types of audits, as well as some balance sheet reconciliations. So from a balance sheet perspective, we're involved with the cash reconciliation, accounts receivable, and a bunch of the accounts that go with the accounts receivable, allowance for doubtful accounts, allowance for refunds, those types of things. From an audit perspective, there's a variety of types of audits. Our financial audit, sales and use tax audits, and then any internal audits or best practice reviews. From our financial perspective, we work PricewaterhouseCoopers as our external auditors. So they'll come in a couple times throughout the year, make selections. We're pulling together the supporting documentation and piecing together the story and helping them get in and navigate through the transactions and validate that the information is correct. From a sales and use tax perspective, you'll learn more about sales and use tax than you ever thought was possible. Each state has their own kind of rules and requirements, and we collect in virtually every state. There are a handful of states that don't have a sales and use tax, but basically everybody else that we are filing tax returns for. And then internally, we'll do some best practice reviews and review our procedures to make sure that we're operating through those individually. A handful of our folks over the years have had the opportunities to work with some of our different groups, whether it's the different auditing groups, whether it's with our tax team. We've also had a handful of folks go and do some international assignments and go over and spend some time in our UK office, or Sweden, Australia, India, et cetera. So a lot of good potential opportunities for the right fit, the right candidate, and depending on what's going on within the business. From a finance perspective, we do reporting and analysis on both our operational results as well as our revenue results. So the operational results, we're really evaluating how we're doing as a team. When we're looking at our transactions, On the order side, how many transactions, who's processing them, how quickly are we getting the products out to the customer, as well as how accurate those are. So we have different service level agreements that we try to meet and measure, our KPIs, if you will, that we're looking at 80% of the transactions we want completed within 2 business hours. We get that metric every day. We break down the details based off of how we tag them in our system. So if we're not hitting those numbers, we can dig into it and try to understand what it was. Were there particular types of transactions, particular customers? Did we have a bunch of new hires in at a time where a bunch of people out of the office that might have caused some delays in some of the transactions? So if there's things that are within our control, we want to tweak those and make some adjustments to it. So there's an analytical piece to that function. We also do various reporting and analysis on our revenue results, whether it's a daily flash that gets posted on a quarterly basis. We coordinate a fairly hefty package of 50 or 60 pages that gets used at an executive level management. So we pull that information together and facilitate those meetings. Again, the idea for this role is to get someone in an entry-level position, understand how a software company operates, develop a lot of these what I call transferable skills. That's building the foundation for the next step in your career. We've had a lot of success with Brian's students over the years. In fact, of all the schools that we select from, this is the area where we've pulled most of our students, and a lot of those students have really stuck around at the MathWorks in different opportunities over the years. So this is my dog coming up to say hello as I'm recording this video. The pleasures of working from home. We'd love to have you contact us and learn more about the position. There's a number of ways you can get in touch with us, either through the BCC. You can also apply directly to the MathWorks website under the career section. There's always a position listed there for the revenue accounting and controls associate. The reason why that's always open is we have a large team, and we routinely are moving people throughout the organization after they get typically about 2 years of experience, some more, some less. So on a regular basis, we're recruiting students, and Brian is a fantastic place that we've had a lot of success over the years, not just in our department, but throughout the company. I would say over the recent years, we've had over 40 individuals that came through various programs at Bryant. So not just that coming into our group and going through those accounting, finance, business areas. We've also had folks come in and go directly into marketing, human resources, and the sales organization. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to meeting you.